Hey, Death Count.
What are you recording now?
Oh, I'm just gonna record my overall thoughts on E3 2017.
I have a better topic for a video you could do instead.
Like what?
How about this one?
Holy fucking horse balls on tits!
My thoughts exactly.
Loading. Ciphering judgment.
Are you ready?
Death count.
Okay, Alright. I just want to get the point across that I think that Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite right now it's getting a lot of flack, a lot of concerned people over the internet that the graphics are questionable, the graphics look bad. When it comes down to fighting games, the most important thing that should be on your mind is how fun is it to play? How does it control? Those are the questions that you should be asking for. Graphics should be after all that. Because if you have a very good looking fighting game, but it just controls like ass, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's that comes to any game really. If the game is not fun to play, it doesn't matter how it looks. It's a bad game. Now, looking at this Rocket Raccoon model, this is an actual a character model for the game. I have no words. It's really hard to explain. I should have really planned this out. But okay. This is the way I see it. The graphics in Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite are pretty good. They are good. Looking at gameplay of following the game, the first reveal gameplay trailer for it and story mode trailers, they were rough. They're a bit rough, but the actual E3 build that they had at E3 2017 looked very well. So when people start complaining about the graphics in this game, I kind of feel that they are mistaking graphics from character models, because the problem in this game, if you look at Rocket Raccoon, is the character model. It's not the graphics. I mean, if you take a really good close look at his nose, I think that nose looks pretty well textured. When we're talking about graphics, we're talking about the textures. The textures isn't the problem. The problem is the models. That's the problem. That's where they drop the ball on this game right now. And the thing is, not all characters look like ass. Like if you look at Rocket Raccoon, I don't know what the hell. Like how did Capcom, the producer or the director in charge of Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, looked at this? How could they have looked at Rocket Raccoon at this and be like, yeah, okay, I threw my hat. I don't get it. I really don't get it. I mean, do they just not give a fuck? Is that what's happening? Is it just like, who cares? We're on a deadline. We need this game out right now. Are they doing a Street Fighter 5? Because if they are, I really don't want that. I really, really don't want that. Street Fighter 5 have had its issues by rushing the game out so that it can be out in the competitive scene. Of course, Marvel vs. Capcom games are competitive games, even though they're busted. But that's what makes them fun. A busted fighting game is fun to play. It can get, I'm getting off topic. Back to the character models here. Like I was saying, I don't understand how Capcom lets something like this fly. And it's too late to change it, really. The game comes out in 3 months from this video, 3 months from now. That's not enough time to change a whole character model. And really, it's just the face. They're having troubles. They don't know. I don't know who is in charge of doing the assets for the characters. And you know what I mean by assets, I mean the models of the characters. I don't know who's in charge of the facial models of these characters. Rocket Raccoon just looks like he has rabies or something, or he just doesn't look right. Does not look right. I mean, if they were trying to give the impression that he wants to kill you, I mean, I guess he looks like he wants to kill me. He wasn't able to bite my face off. Yeah, they were, I don't know, they were being underpaid and they didn't give a shit. Maybe that was one of the reasons, or maybe reason number 2 is like, I don't know, that was Capcom playing like pranks, or did he lose a bet? Did he lose a bet on the day that he had to work on Rocket Raccoon, and he had to be blindfolded for the whole damn day, like this? I don't know, you know, like I don't get it. Or maybe he was like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just gonna throw this out there just for the hell of it. Maybe he has a cat that was recently hit by a car, and that car had, I don't know, a camera in the front, and it captured the final moments of his cat, and that is the moment. I mean, obviously Rocket Raccoon isn't a cat, but maybe that's the face that the cat made, and you know, to show respects, he decided to put that face on Rocket Raccoon. I don't know. That's obviously a joke. Or maybe I'm just gonna stop there. I got nothing else. I really don't get it. I was saying he, but maybe it's a she. I don't know. And not only that, look. This is Rocket Raccoon on Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Now, obviously, the graphics. Now, what I mean by the graphics is I mean the textures on the model. Obviously, the graphics aren't as good, as detailed as this. This is more detailed and more high def than Ultimate Marvel vs. 3 Rocket Raccoon. But it doesn't matter because this just looks better. This has an artistic style that is better for the character than the Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite Rocket Raccoon. Captain Marvel. Now, Captain Marvel is by far the best looking character in the game. One of the best looking characters in the game. So I look at Captain Marvel and I'm like, yeah, those graphics look good. They look good. Could they be better? Yes, they could be better. But overall, her character model and the graphics, the textures that are on that model look good. Her eyes look great. They're obviously going for a realistic, you know, ultra realistic type look for the game. It doesn't work on all the characters, unfortunately, like Rocket Raccoon, you know, on Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, they were not going for a realistic type look. So this flies. This looks good. Rocket Raccoon fit alongside all the other characters. It's not the approach that they should have gone with. They should not have gone realistic looking models. I don't think they should have. If you look at Marvel vs. Capcom 2, which is my favorite Marvel vs. Capcom game, every single character on there looks like they fit because they're all sprites. They all look the same. They all have the same look. The same artistic look, and it looks fine. They all look fine. But on this game, on Infinite, with the realistic look that they want to do, not all characters translate well with that. And not only that, I mean, you could, you know, that's just not, you can't really blame realistic look. You could make a realistic looking raccoon, Rocket Raccoon. They obviously just didn't do it. I don't know what to say. Now let's just take a look at Black Panther really quick. He's arguably one other of the best looking characters. It's a shame that he's like DLC, but you know, at least he looks good. But then again, he has a face a face mask. So thank God that they don't have to worry about making his face look realistic, because who knows how jacked up it would look. Because obviously whoever is in charge of making the actual models for the characters, he just doesn't know what he's doing really, or he just it's like we're expecting Capcom to be what they used to be, because Capcom used to put out some very high quality artworks, art pieces. Sprites looked actually really good, and they're not the same company anymore. That's the thing. Captain America, unfortunately, he looks like a plastic toy. I don't know what they were trying to do there, with really big, like kind of bug-eyed. That's another thing. They don't know what to do with the eyes. It's like it's inconsistent. It's almost like there is multiple people working on these different models. There's not just one person just obviously there has to be more than one person working on models, but they're not all on the same page, or something is happening, and I just don't know. I don't know what to say. I can't tell you. Looking at Strider again, this is a more realistic, looking Strider. Fortunately, he looks good. His eyes don't look dead. His eyes look normal. His eyes look good. His hair, looks good. He just looks good overall. He translates pretty well in a realistic look. Again, with Captain Marvel, she looks great. Chun-Li has some issues, and I find it really funny that she's blurred out in this image. Like they're trying to hide it, but Chun-Li is a very beautiful looking character, and in my opinion, she has always been a very beautiful looking character, and for some reason on this game, she looks weird, man. That's all I'm saying. She looks weird. As you can see, like you can get a good shot of her on the story trailer that they showed off at Evo on the Sony press conference, and it just looks rough. That whole trailer looked rough, actually. Like again, it sounds like I'm hating on the game, and I'm not. I am actually excited about the game. I really want to get the collector's edition because it comes with all this cool, fort statues and like the gemstones and stuff, and that's really awesome. Of course, I really want to play this game. I am a fan of the Marvel vs. Capcom games, and this game does look fun. The game looks fun. The game looks awesome to watch. It's just the choices on some of the character models, the faces, just that's just what I don't get. And if you're looking for answers from me, I got nothing, man. I got nothing. And one of my favorite characters in the Marvel games and in Darkstalkers is Morrigan. So, looking at Morrigan, let's look at her body. It looks great. It looks very high textured in my opinion. I can see like the actual, fibers in her suit now, and I can see more detail on her wings and stuff. And she looks great. She looks really great. But once I get to her face, stuff get a little weird again. Unfortunately, the person that worked on Captain Marvel and Strider did not work on Morrigan, and that is a shame. And I'm trying to figure out what looks off. Like, what looks off about Morrigan? And it comes down to her eyes, I think. It's her eyes is what looks weird, because they're trying again to make it look realistic, so they changed her eyes to a more realistic set of eyes, and it just doesn't fit. When you change eyes on a character that you're so used to having a certain set of eyes, like, okay, this is Morrigan on Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. You can obviously tell that her eyes are anime-like, just the way they has like the sharp edges and stuff like that, and that is the eyes that Morrigan has. Of course, it's been altered a little bit on, depending on the drawings, but they look anime. And that is not what we get on this. This is not anime eyes. This is realistic eyes. And that just throws the character off. It translates well on Strider, but on Morrigan, unfortunately, it doesn't. And that is why Morrigan looks off. And then she does tend to look a little Barbie-like. I don't know. That's gonna be the textures. Let me try to pull up a picture. Oh, okay. I have a lot of pictures up. But looking at, okay, this is actually in the game as of right now, even on the E3 build. That is Morgan's portrait on a life bar. Again, she has realistic looking eyes. It just doesn't fit her very well, and she looks like a Barbie doll in my opinion also, and that just doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. I'm a Morgan fan. Morgan is definitely gonna be my main character, and not because she has infinite soul fist, shadow blade. Not because of that. They actually nerfed that. If you see some Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite footage at E3, she can actually get hit by her own soul fist projectiles, so that's nerfed. She can still control the screen with her projectiles, her soul fist projectiles, but anyways, I'm getting into the gameplay aspect. That's really what it is. It's the gameplay looks great, and that's what you should be looking at, is the gameplay. And I'm sold. I am sold on it. and it just sucks that I have to make a video about this, about the character models' faces. Dante, you can kind of see Dante back there in the back. He just looks off also. Like, I don't get it. Why didn't they just use... I mean, he's wearing his Devil May Cry 3 outfit, but his face is kind of like a mixture of like the DMC Dante with maybe I don't know. He just doesn't look very good. And Chris, I don't know what to tell you on Chris. He just doesn't look like him. He looks like a totally different person. Yes, he has the Chris, pose. He has the Chris weapons. He has the Chris, outfit. But his face does not look like Chris. If you just get that face and take that face out, just the face, you wouldn't be able to tell that that's Chris. I've never seen a version of Chris like that. And here's a close-up of Dante. Again, he looks different. I mean, yeah, he does. He looks different. I'm not gonna lie. He looks different. His eyes just don't look right. There's not very many characters that actually have good-looking eyes in this game, and fortunately, like Captain Marvel, that is some of the best pair of eyes that I have seen in the game so far. You even see like a reflection off of the eyes. They look alive. Her eyes look alive. Those eyes, the way she's looking at you, I mean, I'm getting a personality from her. It's like she's alive. It's like she's saying, take me now. I want you right now. It's like, take me. So in the end of the day, really, we can gripe and cry and complain all we want about the graphics of a video game. And it is important. The graphics are important, but they're not the most important thing. The most important thing is obviously the gameplay, especially in a fighting game. The gameplay and the mechanics is the most important thing, not the graphics. Graphics come after all that. Fans of Capcom games hold Capcom at high standards, and Capcom, for some reason, is dropping the ball on those standards, on visual fidelity, on, like I've been saying, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite looks good graphically wise, but model wise, no, it does not look good. It's inconsistent on what it wants to be. It's characters, some characters look good, some characters don't look good, and it's whack. It's whack. It makes it look like a complete mess of everything. My only concern is that this is gonna get blown way out of proportion, and it's gonna hurt the sales of the game. And if I feel like Capcom is in a position where they need to succeed in their future games now. With Street Fighter V just kind of bombing, not kind of, it bombed. It bombed on actual sales. Fortunately for them, it was a very strong esports game, very competitive game that it pretty much survived off of esports alone. And I'm not 100% sure if they made all their money back and profit off of just esports from that game, but it for sure damn hell didn't make its money off of, us from buying from people buying the game. That was for sure. And that's my fear. The inconsistency on Capcom fighting games starts on Street Fighter V. Street Fighter V is a fun game to play, and some of the characters do look really good in that game, like they do on Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. Some of the characters look really good on Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, like Captain Marvel, for instance. Some of the characters on Street Fighter V look really good. Like, I think Judy looks really good. Judy. And who else looks? Sexy Ryu, he looks good. Chun-Li, she looks good. Cammy looks good, although there was, in the initial launch of Cammy, I believe the betas or the alpha, she had a different face because they were going for, I don't know, a redesign, a more realistic look, or I don't know what look they were trying to go for, but she was more angular, and honestly, I didn't have beef with that look, but that was definitely not Cammy, traditional Cammy look. She just, there's a difference between redesigning and just changing it completely, and Cammy looked different on her original face. When you change the bone structure of someone's face, it's a different person at that point. Your bone structure does not change once you reach a certain age in your 20s or whatever, I believe. And unless you're death count and you're like 2,000 years old, then you're gonna start seeing some teeth falling out and cracks all over your skull and stuff like that.
Wait, what?
But anyways, yeah, like I've been saying, too much inconsistency going on Capcom 3D models. Really, it's like they don't really know how to do 3D models very well overall. They get some right. It's a lot of like hit and miss on their models. And like Kin, this completely different bone structure of his face that it doesn't even look like Kin anymore. It's just some other guy that just appears to be like Kin, but he's not. And that's unfortunate. Akuma, again, he has Akuma at least looks like Akuma. He has the bone structure of Akuma. He just has a lot of hair. So that is a good redesign. Akuma looks fine. Some people don't like the hair, the lion mane and all that stuff, but at least he's Akuma. He has this bone structure still the same. And like, again, back with Cammy, a lot of people complained about that, and they actually changed her model. Her face model, they changed because too many people complained about it. And that's actually pretty surprising in my opinion, I guess, because it was still needed more time, so they were able to change it. But in Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, they don't have enough time to change these models. These models are going to be in the game at launch. Again, a lot of hit and miss. Some of them look great, some of them don't look great. I'm going to be buying this game. I'm going to be playing it because it looks fun, like I've said many times already in this video, because that should be your main priority. Does the game look fun? Do you want to play it because it looks fun? And are the mechanics good? And it needs to be somewhat balanced. I'm not saying it needs to be completely balanced, but it needs to be somewhat balanced. And that's all you really need to ask yourself. Those are the main questions. Not, oh, that game, the graphics suck ass. You know, like King of Fighters 14 when that came out. That graphics sucks ass. I'm not going to buy it. No. Don't think like that. Of course, we want good graphics. I mean, why would we not want good graphics? That's the thing. We do want good graphics, but we want a good game first. I want Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite to succeed. I want it to do well. I want Dragon Ball Fighters to succeed. I want it to do well. I want both these games to be at Evo. I want both these games. I want fan base. I want people to play both of them. Why just choose one? You know, they both have. They're both good games, and they both have good mechanics. So that's all I'm saying. I'm just gonna end it right here because I just keep rambling about other stuff and keep talking. So thank you so much for watching. I'm Kamel Tetsuo, and you just watched a death count video. And like always, rock on.
Death count activated.